What happens when the greatest partnership in modern tennis suddenly explodes? Not because of losing, not because of drama on court, but because of something deeper, something nobody saw coming. Carlos Alcaraz and his longtime mentor, Juan Carlos Ferrero, have officially gone their separate ways, and the timing, just weeks before the 2026 Australian Open, shocks the tennis world. Stay with me, because what this split could mean for the future of tennis is huge. In the tennis universe, Alcaraz and Ferrero weren't just coach and player. They were a dynasty. Ferrero has been by Alcaraz's side since he was a teenager, transforming a raw talent into a 6-time Grand Slam champion and the face of men's tennis. But just as Alcaraz stands poised to chase history, including the only major he's never won, the Australian Open, he's ending the partnership that built his entire career. And that is why this is not just a coaching story. It's a contested crossroads in tennis history. After 7 years, 24 titles, and 6 Grand Slams, Alcaraz announced the breakup with heartfelt gratitude, but with little clarity on why. His message thanked Ferrero for turning childhood dreams into reality, while Ferrero himself admitted it was a difficult day and said he wished he could have continued. But they didn't stay together, and that gap between what was said and what actually happened, that's where the controversy begins. Because some insiders now say the reasons go way beyond tennis. Reports from Spanish media suggest that contract negotiations soured suddenly, with certain proposed terms that Ferrero found unacceptable. Ferrero reportedly wanted to stay, but the agreement was moving so fast and with so much tension that the partnership collapsed in less than 48 hours. That's not a peaceful parting, that's a rupture. And when things explode that fast, there's always more than meets the eye. Tony Nadal, uncle and longtime coach of Rafael, called the situation a shock, saying this split wasn't about tennis. He explained that once the player becomes the one paying, coaches and players start to clash on vision, control, and direction. Think about that. 2 guys who made history together, falling out not because of losses, but because their vision and relationship changed. If even a legend like Tony Nadal thinks this isn't about tactics, you know this story runs deep. Ferrero hasn't publicly blasted Alcaraz, but his words were tinged with sadness and nostalgia. Alcaraz's social media thanked Ferrero like a father figure, and many fans felt a sense of loss, almost like a breakup in slow motion. When you work with someone through adolescence, triumphs, struggles, and 6 Grand Slams, this isn't business. This is life. So if it wasn't purely about money, and it wasn't purely about tennis, what was it about? Stay with me, because the next part gets even more intense. Here's where the stakes explode. Carlos Alcaraz is about to begin the 2026 season with only one goal left unfinished, the Australian Open and a career Grand Slam. No Ferrero, no longtime mentor on the sideline during the biggest moments of his career. Does he rise with fire and determination, or does he crumble under the weight of expectation? Let's add another layer of drama. Across the tour, Jannik Sinner's star continues to rise, already dominating majors and threatening Alcaraz's throne. Now imagine 2 titans. One has just lost the man who shaped him. The other is peaking and closing in fast. And that's why this split doesn't just affect Alcaraz, it shifts the entire men's tennis battlefield. A player's coach isn't a strategist only, they're a mental anchor. Removing that anchor before a season where every slam matters is like walking into a storm without an umbrella. or a compass. Ask yourself, does Alcaraz even want the same thing anymore? Because if he didn't, then this split suddenly makes sense. Some fans were devastated. Others said it was inevitable. Some think it will reignite Alcaraz's hunger. One former pro even compared a coaching split to a relationship breakup, where the grief shows up unexpectedly in performance. And honestly, pressure isn't just on court. It's in the mind, the body, the routine. Losing the person who helped build that routine? That's seismic. January 2026, Alcaraz steps onto the hard courts of Melbourne. No Ferrero by his side. 8 titles last year, 1 major missing. This will be the first real test of his post-Ferrero era. And fans around the world are watching one question. Will Carlos Alcaraz be stronger or weaker without his longtime coach? Because at the end of the day, he's already one of the greatest of his generation. His mentor helped shape him into a legend. But now, the world wants to know, did he make the right choice? Will he rise even higher? Or is this the moment that cracks his armor? The split between Alcaraz and Ferrero isn't just news, it's a narrative rewrite, a legacy twist, a moment where tennis history holds its breath. One decision, one split, and what was once a partnership becomes the greatest storyline of 2026. If you want more deep dives into the biggest tennis controversies, rivalries, and career-defining moments, subscribe, drop a comment on who you think Alcaraz should hire next, and share this video with every fan hungry for tennis drama.